Hey YouTube, I'm gonna do Byrna out of the box testing today with 4 different projectiles. So I'm gonna start with the Byrna Kinetics. My previous video of these weighed in at 2.9 grams and were approximately 0.685 bore. For the purposes of this video, I will not be changing the CO2. I realize the last ball that I am going to fire is the heaviest, so it's going to have the most unfair advantage. But I am using a 12-gram Merciless lethal adapter. And in my off-camera testing, I was getting 5 magazines at a consistent power level, and by the 4th power started drops. Unfortunately, the 9.9 gram candid riot balls, which are these guys, aren't gonna have the same fair shake as the others, but it's just how it's gonna be. I may test them separately in the future, or if something surprises me here in the video. So the Byrna Kinetics are loaded first. Then it will be 3.7 gram candid riot balls, which measure in a bore size of 0.682. Then I'm gonna have to pause it to reload. And I'm going to do the Jewel V2, which are 8 grams, and they bore size at about 0.684. And then last but not least are the candid riot balls. These are 9.9 grams. These are the hybrids with a steel core inside, and they are 0.682 as well, which is the same as their lighter brother here, we should say. These are the same balls that you saw me weighing out on my table and scale the other day. I kept them separate for the purposes of this test. Not sure it's gonna make all that difference, but I do like to keep the data fairly consistent. I got the Olight on here. This is the Balder Pro R. It's kind of long. I'm trying out some different things. I'm an Olight guy. I was for a long time, so I have quite a collection of them. Thought I'd toss it on here. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit even with the Glock rail. The Picatinny adapter. I'm not even gonna use this. Strictly on there for show today. And I also added just a cheap Amazon, I think it's called Farm Soldier. It's probably something from China. It was like, I think 15 bucks, and I got 3 of them. So I toss it on there, gives a nice little gripping area. Try it this way. So this fit actually very nice, and I'm happy with that. So I may actually look for another color just for the sake of it. But in any case, let's get to the testing. I'll be using X-Radar chronograph. Alrighty. So we will pierce, it's on safety. I'm gonna do the tests, all my testing in this manner. Oh, before I go ahead, safety glasses. Can't forget those. 5 rounds, Byrna Kinetic. Oh, gotta take it off safety. How can you tell I'm new without saying I'm new? 280. And pardon me if I go and grab these before they find their way into the cobwebs. 280. 282. 280. 278. So the issue with these, let me fire off the last one here. $278. Very consistent. Surprisingly, with how kind of oblong these Kinetics are, they're not very round. But the reason they're coming back so fast is because of the lightweight. This Kevlar does a really good job catching heavy projectiles, moving very fast. Some fast enough to make holes in it, as you can see. Okay, moving up. 3.7 gram, candid riot balls, nylon. There is no steel core in these. So something I normally do when I get in between talking in the videos here is I put my marker on safety. And I've noticed that I cannot put this in safety once I have armed the CO2. I did recently read about somebody else that had that issue and believed their Byrna was broken or malfunctioning. What do you guys say? Is I supposed to do that? I don't know. To me, it doesn't really bother me. But like I said, when I step in between here and I'm talking, I usually put my marker on safe, and I think maybe in the future I'll get in the habit of just putting this down if I can't, if there's no resolution to that, or that is just its functionality. 3.7 gram. $232. 228. 226. 224. 222. And that is it for those. I'm noticing something different here. It's a lot cooler in the garage today, about 18 degrees. Definitely didn't, okay, the first hole mag was consistent using the Byrna Kinetics. The candid riot balls, those 3.7 gram, you could see were, the FES was dipping down each shot. I didn't experience that previously. I am right now. So I think for the accuracy of the data in this video, I'm actually going to put a new CO2 in and retest these 3.7 gram. And I guess I'll have to do that for each of the projectiles. I don't want to, but it's the price we pay for data, and I don't have all my CO2s are inside. If you saw the amount of CO2s wasted, it's crazy, but I love doing it. So let's go get a new CO2 because I didn't bring any out here. Okay, back with a fresh CO2. And 3.7 gram nylon candid riot balls. I also realized I may as well turn the laser on. What would it be without some special effects? Oh, gotta put safety off again. Rookie. 240. 242. 242. 236. 234. Round 3. Fresh 12 gram CO2. I should mention I am using Crossman CO2s with the Mercy Less Lethal adapter. Joule V2, 8 grams, 0.684 bore size approximately. Puncture. This time, I'm not gonna forget to take it off safety. It's the only marker I know that behaves like this, guys, so cut me some slack, eh? Safety off. No special effects this time. 150. 152. 148. 144. 148. Last but not least, fresh 12 gram CO2 and 9.9 gram hybrid candid riot balls. Puncture. Safety off. 128. 128. 128. 126. 122. It's data time. Simple data. So the results didn't surprise me. And I hope I don't offend anybody. But generally speaking, in an underpowered marker, a lighter projectile is going to be the best performer. And I say underpowered because this was never designed as a kinetic launcher. It's being used as one, but it was designed for pepper balls. Let's just be frank. So that being said, the Byrna Kinetics, 2.9 grams. What I did is tallied up all the joule counts, so 5 counts and divide by 5. And the 2.9 gram average 10.48 joules. It also held the most consistent FPS, in part due to it being a light projectile. And it is a better bore match than any of the other 3 that I tested. Bore matching can 100% affect consistency. Bore matching a projectile will prevent, or we'll say it'll limit the amount of blow-by past your balls. So therefore making it more consistent, less wasted CO2. Moving on, 3.7 gram nylon candid riot balls. They didn't do too bad. They are the smallest bore size of, well, one of the smallest bore sizes that I tested. So FPS, well, it was up there and it stayed pretty consistent. Compared to the 2.9, it varied quite a bit, well, not quite a bit more, but it was more obvious that it varied. And using the same method, totaling up shots divided by, totaling up the joule count divided by 5, 9.75 joules was the average on the first 5 shots of 3.7 gram nylon riot balls. Moving on to the joules, they were 8 grams. They were the second largest. I thought they'd perform better. They were pretty consistent, but the average shot was just lower than the Kinetics. And again, that goes back to the weight. This marker is not pushing a lot of air. It needs air or gas, however you want to look at it, to push those heavy balls. And when it doesn't have it, the heavy balls suffer. Now, you know, going into a completely different marker, that is pretty much out the window. But on a Byrna, you're limited by barrel size and, well, the amount of gas in a CO2 cartridge. So, sorry, Joule V2, 8 I wrote it down here, 1.5 was the average. So you can see kind of the pattern here as the weights are going up, the average joule is going down. 9.9 gram. They were one of the smallest, so they were tied with obviously their lighter brother. They were both the exact same bore size of 6.82, so lots of blow by, heavy balls. Of course, it had the worst average at 7.31 joules. And I mean, take these results with a grain of salt. Markers can vary. Testing temperatures can vary. There are a lot of variables that go into this. And again, this was just testing it out of the box. There's no modifications here. I haven't turned my hammer spring yet or anything like that. So this is what you would expect out of the box. What I would look for in a projectile in its current form like this, well, the Byrna Kinetic performed the best. I mean, hands down it did, but it is such a crappy manufactured ball. If you could find one that was of similar weight, you know, in the 3 gram range, was a larger bore size or at least the same bore size as a Byrna Kinetic at 6.85, I think you would be doing very well. This wasn't an accuracy test, but I'm betting that those little tits that are left on those balls 100% affect accuracy. And the weight of them too, I mean, has a part to play, but those balls suck. Their manufacturing tolerances there, they look like they came out of a gumball machine. But they do perform. So ideally, I would find a ball in that weight range that was more spherical. I have seen some, you know, AliExpress balls. I've seen a few videos kicking around where people are shooting these cheap balls that are like 2.7 grams. I can tell you from experience, those balls are even smaller than the 6.82 bore. They might fire fine, look fast and all that jazz, but a lot of wasted energy in a ball that small. So I would avoid those offshore, cheaply made nylon balls. There are also the new 5.5 gram Riot balls from Riot Balls USA that I say have caught my interest. I've seen some good videos with good results. I'll probably be picking up some of those to try. But in the meantime, the testing is going to continue with what I have. And I'm gonna test with the Byrna Kinetics for now. If I realize some huge gain in this marker, I will definitely retest with some of the heavier balls and see if you know, the results speak for themselves. But that's for another day.